Hey there, it is Phoenix Amore. So, woo! Now, why did I say? Let me remind folks of what my site is all about. Different aspects, clearly, because the readings to the sports stuff to whatever. But let me explain something to people. First of all, I always like giving examples of life things that I have experienced, the kind of people I've been around, so that people understand when you're reading now, this is somebody who's evolved as a person, right? So what do people naturally do? When I talk about living a path for a while before you start speaking on the topic, this is the prime example. So understanding, even with this whole stripper thing, right? I want to explain something to folks. The youngest father actually found out very rudely how one lady that he used to date was actually a stripper. You know how he found out? Somebody saw her with him and was like, that's so-and-so from the club. So here he is, he gets to find out some kind of crazy way she was lying, saying she was going to some different job or whatever, and he was like, okay, so you're really a stripper. And finding out horrendously in a way that I'm sure made him completely embarrassed. So I want to express again that these two actually broke up and then they revisited, okay, their relationship. By then we had this child. Now by then he's put her on blast and he said all this stuff about her. By then I'm like, look, I just want to meet her. If she's gonna be around my son, I just want to meet her. That's me. And that's the thing when people are like, oh, she just want to meet her so she can back. I want to meet her simply because my son is going to be around her. Now, I'm already in the know that she has two sons herself, so I can't care about all the drama he was getting ready to try to throw at me. But my point is, by then, she had actually decided to go to medical school, I guess, to be an ultrasound tech or something like that. So she was already moving out of her past, right, into something different. So guess what? I'm really that type of person. Like, that's her past. She's doing something different now. So just let me meet her, because the point was my son is going to be over there and sometimes spending the night. Why would I not want to meet her? That's it. So I basically got to a point where I have to explain to people what judgment is per se. Judgment is atonement, and that's what a lot of people don't get. Now she in that case atoned for her whatever past by saying, I'm getting out. So it wasn't no like, I'm a stripper and it is what it is. You like, I'm a stripper, I had to do what I had to do for a little bit, but I'm going to school. So that's what she did. Now, flip side, he had a cousin that stripped. Now, she didn't have a plan, okay? I don't know what she was thinking or whatever, it didn't even matter. I met her, I actually took her to work a couple of times. So when people get ready to say, oh, she can't judgmental, no, that's not the truth. And the ones that have met me before know that's not the truth. I took her to work. I did not say one thing about you should stop stripping. That's not my place. I'm really one of those people where I'm like, God will bring people to where he wants them to be. I just took her to work. You need a ride? It is what it is. She, however, was getting little signs here and there that she should get out. So you don't have a plan. It's not like you're saving money to, what are you doing? I know all these things in the background. I knew that he had said it to her a couple of times, whatever. She ended up in a horrible car wreck coming from work one night, right? Car flipped and everything. So that was her final message, where she got out of that damn stripping and she started working at a retail store. And in her mind it was like, I'm giving up all this money I used to make stripping, I'm giving up all this money. But that wreck was enough where God was like, you're gonna have to give up a whole lot more, and I told you to move around from this. So all these people that I've been around, when you're reading my blog, people need to understand. So here I can say now, when I talk about my circumstances, me having 5 boys, 3, don't mind saying it very loudly, 3 different baby fathers, but slept with very few men in my life. That's a key thing when I talk about this whole feminist thing that I'm speaking on. I don't believe feminism is about hating men. That's the one thing that I need to stress very strongly. You have to be careful. If you get around a bitter feminist, run. Because before you know it, they'll have you single forever, for the rest of your life, because you supposedly a feminist. That's just called bitter. So let me just break that down right there. Now, moving forward, when I talk about the over-sexualized thing, because I know how people like to throw stuff. They be like, well, how is she saying that? She got 5 boys, 3 different baby daddies. Guess who has not slept with a lot of men? Me. Now, how did I basically have to battle back with women who make assumptions, seeing that I have the 5 boys? I know, because everybody's circumstances are different. You have some women who have had multiple abortions. So really you could say stuff like, how many kids would you have had? Or, you know, if this and that. Okay, you don't have any kids, but how many men have you slept with in your life? Everybody has something. You can have the one that says, well, I only have one baby daddy, but you may have slept with 50, 60, like all these things that you could throw at somebody, right, if you wanted to. But the whole point is everybody has some kind of set of circumstances. So I'm saying all these things to people because that stripper is a prime example of what I mean when somebody's saying something truthful. Stripper or not, what her statement was truth. Why are you tripping? And I wear some of the same kind of stuff as so and so. Now everybody could get all in her uproar if they wanted to, but is that truth? It's the truth. So it is what it is. She is very valid in the point she was making there. She's no different from that person that wears the same kind of stuff in that capacity as her. Now, here's the thing, and I'm going to explain this very clearly. All right. First of all, I want to remind the girls when I say I don't wear makeup and all that kind of stuff. Y'all see, this is what I call my appointments. This is real. This is, don't forget you have an appointment with Ain't Flow in a few days. That's what this is. So all the girls, that whole perfection thing that you see on social media that's had your little loopy to where you can't even go to the store without a face full of makeup, come on down to earth a little bit with me, sweeties. Because right here, I can show you clear as day. I know what this is. This is my appointment set. Embrace who you are, imperfection and all. Now, that's not saying never wear makeup. I'm just showing you. Guess what? You still look at me like, oh, she's still attractive, even though you see this, right? And if you see this, you're like, oh my God, look at the, you crazy. Because you know everybody has had a zit in their life. So if your mind went straight to here, I wanted to wait to start recording some of the videos to say, oh yeah, by the way, did you notice this? Some of y'all noticed that on instinct because y'all gotten so caught up in social media and the Photoshop and the beauty face that first thing you hone in on is that imperfection. Now, moving right along, let me explain something to people. The readings that I do, there's some men that would not accept that. Guess what? I'm fine with that because this is what God wants me to do. That's the thing that I'm talking to women right now. When embrace your circumstances. There's some men that would not date me because I have 5 sons and I can't care. Those are my circumstances. It is what it is. So when I'm speaking about this whole stripping thing, where I'm going with this is, guess what? There's going to be some men who are going to want to marry you or date you seriously because they don't want to have to deal if somebody Googles your name and they got to find all kind of stripping whatever or porn videos and all that. There's some men who would not want to deal with that. Some men would be fine with it. No different. This is where I'm relating to people than the readings. There may be some really super religious guy like I just can't get past the fact that she does readings and I have to say, well, you know what, be on your way and be blessed. That's really, and I've done that before, ladies, so understand that very clearly. So I had to be okay with that. Now, where I'm going with this whole feminist thing is the same way when I said I would not date an ex-stripping man. That's real. Because I don't want to have to deal with that. That's called equality. That's called, guess what? At the end of the day, I would not date the stripper because I would not want people being like, yo, man used to be a stripper. He looked good, but he used to be a stripper. I'm not trying to feel all that. Now, where I want to leave this with all this, right, when I'm talking about this feminist thing, think about this. Why I said the over-sexualized part makes no sense. Why would you make equality about sex as opposed to intelligence and all that? Now, where am I going with that, sweeties? Listen to what I just said. Why would you look at men and say, well, they're hoes, so we're going to be some hoes, and now we're feminists? No, you are now just hoes just like the men. So that's why I said don't try to throw feminism as a layer on truth. That's what I'm talking about. So that's the key when I said that's not feminism. Don't look at the men's worst quote unquote traits and say, well, we're going to be equal and we're going to be as equally hoes and then say that's feminism. Makes no sense. Take care.